Alright gang, welcome back to our Broke to Billionaire Challenge on Ohio Richlands. You join me, it is still June, about just after noon, and we're in the process here of picking up the grass. Now you might be asking yourselves, well Z, what are you doing here? Normally you would bale this grass to turn it into silage. You're right, normally I would. I want to speed it up a little bit at this point, so we put down something we've utilized before. We utilized in the 200 horsepower challenge, we've utilized it elsewhere. In different series as well. Never on this series specifically, but in other series on the channel. And we put down the production that doesn't cost a whole lot of money. It allows us to put grass into it, it'll turn it into silage, and then we have that distributing to all of our different productions. Now, a couple of things to note here. Both of our productions at current, well, maybe slightly under it at this point, but they're pretty much maxed on the potatoes, and we have a boatload of potatoes still to harvest out of the ground. So we're going to have to figure out something else to do with these potatoes, gang. We're going to have to put down some other production of some sort to be able to utilize the potatoes to their full extent. Otherwise, they're just going to be kind of hanging around. Or we've got to find some kind of other storage for the potatoes. One way or another. It's one or the other. We got to do one or the other. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards another production for potatoes. Not a BGA of any sort, just maybe make some pig food or something else, but French fries, potato chips, whatever. Make something else with them. I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but we'll see. We'll see what we get to. Now, the reason why I decided to go against just doing the baling is because this is much easier for us to do. It's much faster for us to do. And as you know, right now we have a lot to do. So I'm not fully saying we won't go back to doing the bales anymore. We probably will do the bales again. But considering how much we have to get done today, this just seems like the best bet for us to be able to get that stuff accomplished without having a 2.5 hour episode. So that's what we're going to do. But how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. You can see over there, we've actually got it, well, I guess you can't really see, but you can sort of see if you look far enough down there in the distance. We got a good chunk of the potatoes up. But I wouldn't even say we're 1/4 of the way through that field yet. So lots and lots left to do. Which is good, right? That means we've got a lot of supply that we can utilize for whatever it is we decide to do with it, right? Now the nice thing about this loading wagon is that it's a little bit unrealistic in the fact that we can put a lot in it, right? We can put a lot in it before we have to go back, which is what's really going to save us time. You can factor that in with the front windrower here. This is going to save us boatloads of time. Now we got to get it up today. As you can see, the other grass is already growing, so it's already kind of hard to see where that grass is, but the windrower is helping us make sure we get all of it. So things are going well here. Things are good, as well as good as they can be, I guess, all things considered. So we're gonna try to realign this a little bit here. Make sure we get all of this as much as possible, at least. We should be able to get all of the grass up in this loading wagon without having to unload it, which is great. That'll save us a ton of time. Now, as far as what we have to do today, really, we've got to continue working on the harvest of this, which I have the worker doing. I think the worker is full. If they're not full, they're very close to being full. And we have to re-drill this field. Those are the things we have to accomplish today. It's not too bad. Because since we sold this field here, it's not too bad. But still a lot to do. Now, we currently have 3,250,000, around that, give or take. We spent a lot of money in the last episode buying that potato field, but I really do think it's going to actually help us. I really, truly think it's going to make our lives so much easier as far as trying to get to that $1 billion. Will we get there? Who knows? I keep saying that I think we're going to, but I really don't know, right? I'm just kind of guessing and hoping. So it's full real quick, so let's flip over here, let's unload this. Now while we're going up there, I can show you real quick what I'm talking about. So I mean, potatoes, there's a little bit that can be fit in there, but not 62,000 liters of potatoes, I can tell you that. There's not enough room to get rid of that much. So, a little bit in there, and then again, a little bit here, but really nowhere near that. So that's why I'm saying we're going to have to put some other kind of production down. There's just no way. We won't succeed if we just sit there and wait for all those to be chewed through. Now, certainly some of it will get chewed through by between this episode and the next, because we're going to jump, obviously, to July, right? But it's not going to get through as much potatoes as we currently have, and those potatoes are only going to continue. I mean, look at this. We got a good chunk out here, but we got all that field back there we haven't touched, and then all of this. I mean, there's a lot of potatoes left to deal with, right? So now, this is one we're going to have to come back through here and pick some of this up, but that's all right. I mean, the sheep are kind of in the way here, so there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Now, the sheep should be good. Off camera, before we started this episode, I did fill up their water, so they should be fine. They still have plenty of grass bales in there, so that's not a problem. That's nothing to worry about currently, I guess is what I should say. Now we're just going to kind of do this for a second, and then we're going to back up. We're just going to make sure we got all of that. I don't really want to miss anything here since we're utilizing the loading wagon. With this big, massive windrow at the front, it would be kind of stupid for us to miss anything here. If we were doing the baling, that's one thing, but this is so much easier to do and so much faster. There's no reason for us to not get every bit of it, so that's what we're doing. I think we'll be able to get all of this in here without having to unload it, which is going to be really nice for us. That way we don't have to spend a trip going all the way over there, unloading it, coming all the way back. I still have the skid steer there. I didn't, even though I said I was going to do it off camera, I didn't do it, so I apologize, but I will do it. Probably this episode. We'll probably just move it over there this episode, because I think we're pretty close to having 2 full pallets anyway of wool, so we need to bring that over to Grandma's house anyway, so. And that's another thing, right? Another thing we might have to consider doing is either putting down some kind of fabric production or another Grandma's house or another clothes production of some sort, right? Alright, so this is done, so let's go drop it off in our little silage production here, which you've seen this many times before, so don't expect it to be anything new or different. I tried to look for some new things. I really couldn't find anything. This is really the best one, especially for the money. It's only like $11,000 or something like that. It's not. It's very inexpensive. So you've seen this one many times. Where you're just going to utilize it again because it's really the best bang for a buck. And it chews through the silage much faster than the bales do. So it's just it's a win-win, right? It's a win-win. So the digestate, there's not enough in there to sell or anything like that, so we're not worried about that. Yeah, so it's going to chew through that pretty quickly, and it'll flip it into our BGAs, which is really good. So let's go and load all of this. So I'm going to drop off I should have probably undid the trailer first, but well, too late now. So we'll do the header first. Now I understand we are running out of room over here in our little excess area, as we're going to call it, right? Our excess section over here, but that's okay. It's alright. We can make more room. We did sell the one plot of land which we talked about in the comments a little bit. Some of us talked about in the comments at least that maybe we'd use that for some productions, but we did sell that one. But we've got other areas we can turn into different production. So I'm not as concerned as you may think I am, or you may be, I guess, with that at current. Maybe later on, maybe we will be a little more concerned, but right now I'm not too concerned about that. I don't know why I closed that. I need to get into the case. So I think we're going to put cotton right back in the field that we harvested in the last episode. I'm just going to keep 2 cotton fields going. I think that's smart. Now, realistically, when we're done with the potatoes, we probably going to sell the potato harvester, because we probably won't put potatoes in again. I mean, I could be wrong, but we're probably not going to put potatoes in again. So, okay, no, not close enough. Okay. So, I mean, maybe we could do sugar beets, I guess, but we would have to get a harvester then, too. So, I think at this point, maybe we just kind of stick in our lane, stick with what we have, right? And kind of go from there. But we'll see, all right? We could change our mind. We'll see. In any case, we're going to get the cotton going back here in the backfield, nevertheless. The potato harvester is almost full once again. He is actually facing the way I want him to face, so I'm going to try to catch up. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up. I was going to say I'm going to try to catch up really quick. I don't think I'm going to be able to. But we're going to attempt it. I'll just turn them off real quick. That way we make sure we can get it unloaded, and then we can just keep the worker going. You don't have to worry about anything. As long as we just keep the worker going on harvesting this, I'm fine. Now, there's sections down there that clearly the worker's not doing. We know that. And we'll have to touch that up ourselves. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Now, I want to mention really quick my my other channel. If you haven't done so yet, I'd appreciate if you went and subscribed to that channel. Trying to get to 1,000. We're about 150-ish off at the time of this recording, somewhere around there. So pretty close, really. And I'd love to get that to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're interested in anything other than Farming Simulator, if you like other playthroughs of games and challenges of games, consider giving it a follow. I'd really, really appreciate it. Alright, so let's get this thing unfolded back here, and we're going to start just drilling the cotton pretty much immediately. It's a very unique machine here, the way that this sets itself up and everything. I probably need to get the other tractor, honestly, for this. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. We'll see how it goes. It's actually not doing too bad, so never mind. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. I was expecting it to go much slower than it is. It does go slower with the other drill. But this isn't doing too bad. Nice. All right, well, let's get into this, gang. Let's get this field going here. We'll continue to jump back and forth between this field and the potato field. That's really what's remaining on the docket for today, as I showed you, right? Everything else, for the most part, is done since we sold the other field. And yeah, we'll get this done and see where we're at. All right, we got a decent amount done there in that time-lapse, gang. We got the worker going here on doing the cotton. So things are going well there. They're not doing the most perfect job, if I'm honest with you. There's definitely some stuff they're missing, but that's okay. We can touch that up, as we normally do. The potatoes are still going strong here. We've got nearly a full trailer load, so I'd like to go take this and unload what we can, which isn't going to be much. But unload what we can, nevertheless. We're going to have to put some kind of production down. We're just going to have to. There's no way around it at this point. We're going to be sitting here on this field for ages if we don't find something else to put the potatoes in. And I'd like to get something else in this field, right? Since we spent so much money in this field, I'd like to get everything out of the field and then be able to put something else in it to make us a lot more money, hopefully, right? Like the straw. Seems like a smart play there in that field. I mean, that's a huge, huge field, and it would take forever to harvest it, just like it's taking forever to harvest right now. But the straw that we would get out of that, I mean, that's immense. I mean, it would be a whole episode just just on picking up all the straw off that. Now, clearly, I wouldn't do that to you, but yeah, that'd be a lot of work for me to do off camera, which is fine, but nevertheless, it's a lot of straw that would help us in our quest here to get to 1 billion, right? Now, I suspect, I don't know for sure, but I suspect there's a lot of silage in here now. Yeah, there is 30-something thousand in there. So we're making a lot of stuff out of here. And there's still grass being chewed through here, but yeah, there's a good chunk that that's in there being processed. So I suspect there's a bunch in this one too. I suspect there's a decent amount of silage in here too. Yeah, there is. So I mean, we've got the stuff in there. It's just a matter of, getting the actual productions to get through everything. Now, as far as the production we're going to utilize for the potatoes, I don't know yet. I really don't. I have no clue. All I know is we need something because they're both full. Yet again, we've got 60% in this trailer. The field is going to get us well over that, well over 100% of the actual trailer is what I'm trying to say. So we do have another trailer. Granted, we could put some in there, but it doesn't have anywhere near the capacity that this one does. So we're going to have to find something else. So with that, let me get this back over here, prepped and ready to unload. And I'm going to see what I can come up with for a production for potatoes. It's probably going to be expensive unless we do something with a small little production like those two over there, right? Unless we find something like that, it's probably going to be expensive, which is a bit of a shame, I guess, because it's probably going to be big and it's going to take up a lot of land, and we really don't have any land to play with. We could utilize some of this land here to put a production down on. We certainly could do that. Maybe we will. Maybe that is what we do, but we've got to find something. Yeah, the more that I think about this, it's probably honestly leaning towards one of the smaller productions to place in the area where we've got land currently, which isn't much land, but we've got the land where the other small productions are. Just kind of place it there with that. I don't see any way that that's not what we do at this point. What I'm talking about, I'm going to show you, because what I'm saying here may not make a whole lot of sense to you unless you've watched, my episodes before. If you're new, it may not make any sense what I'm saying, but I can show it to you. Some of these, right? These smaller ones, right? This is probably like something like this. One of these small ones like this. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Honestly, what I'd like to do is do something that, utilizes some of the eggs with it. I don't think there's anything you can do with the potatoes and eggs, potentially. Maybe there is, but I don't think there is. But if there was something like that, that would be ideal. Look at that. It's got like a kid's play set there. Interesting. Okay. So I guess what I'm getting at here is I'm going to have to look around. Like, the pasta production would be cool. There is one you can do, a small one, like where we can use our imagination like we did over there. I don't necessarily want to do two of those. I think that's a little overboard. Oh, whoa. So this one has the potential to use eggs and potatoes for pasta. But this thing is ginormous. Look at this thing. It's not even expensive for the size of this. I feel like this is very inexpensive for the size of this. Let's do a quick save here. I'm going to flip on some. I'm going to take off some immersion here for a second. Just bear with me because I want to look at that again because that thing is that thing's huge. Where was it? Here it is. This thing is, I mean, absolutely gigantic. So you unload there. I mean, we could definitely put this down here. Would it be the smartest play? I don't know. Probably not. It would take out a lot of the land. That's for sure. I mean, we don't have any land at all, anywhere that we could put this on. No, I mean, nowhere. No matter what we do, we're taking up, you know, precious land. I mean, even if I didn't put that production there, like, that's not going to fit there. There's no way. So as much as I would like to do that, I just don't think I don't think it's at play right now. I tried these recently on the Pioneer Challenge, and that, or was it in this one? No, it was on this one. I'm sorry. It was on this one. I tried these on this map, and they didn't work. I've utilized them previously, and it worked fine, so I don't know what the problem was there, but whatever, it didn't work. General Mill, that's not going to work here. We already have a mini biogas, so that's not going to work. I don't know what to do with all these potatoes. I really don't. I guess I'm going to have to go out to Mod Hub, because I really don't have a whole lot of potato type of production. So I guess I need to go back on Mod Hub and see what I can find, I suppose. I think that's really the only option we have here. Or put the small ones down, right? I mean, pig feed mixer, yeah, maybe, but I'm just kind of doing a quick search through back here to make sure there's nothing else really. I mean, we could do soup. You could do potato soup. That's an option. We've utilized this before in the 200 horsepower challenge. We haven't utilized it since then. So that's definitely an option right here. Is it an ideal option? Probably not, no, but it is an option nonetheless. So maybe that. Is there anything else? Potato processing plant. Okay, that's quite big. We've never utilized this. This would be something different, but it's quite big too. Again, we would have to, you know, take out some of this land here to utilize it, which I'm not fully against it. I don't really want to do it at the same time, if that makes any sense, but I'm not fully against it either. Let's just make sure there's nothing else. So there's a couple things here, I guess, we could choose from that we've never utilized. I don't know how fast it'll chew through them. I suspect it's not going to be fast at all. That's pretty much it. What do we do here, gang? What do we do? Let me go off camera for a minute. Let me go back out to Mod Hub. Let me see if there's anything else out there that maybe we're potentially missing. There may not be, but there also very well could be. Let me see if there's anything else out there for us, because we're going to be full here on this trailer very, very soon. I'll be right back. Alright, so I found something. The building itself is pretty much an identical building that we utilized in the Frugal Millionaire Challenge. However, it has nothing to do with what we utilized in the Frugal Millionaire Challenge. Just happens to be the exact same building. I decided to put it back here. Now, the reason why I decided to put it back here is because it does require water. Our water tanker is right next to our sheep. The water that we're going to utilize is in that lake over there. So just, to me, it seemed like the best bet. So here it is. You can see it very, very similar to what we had before. Now, this has so many options for potatoes. Now, the thing about it is while it does have so many options for potatoes, a lot of it, we have to figure out other ways to get it to work. So right now, we're going to run premium potatoes, which is potatoes and water. It's going to give us starch and premium potatoes. There is the possibility for us to do vegetable fat. If we do that, we can do French fries. We can do all kinds of stuff if we do that. So it's just a matter of us wanting to do that if we decide to do so. Now, I just put all the potatoes in there. It holds 162,000 potatoes, so we're going to go with it. I've got currently the premium potatoes and the starch on selling. So we're going to just roll with it. We're just going to sell them outright. We're going to see how long it takes. If it ends up taking a long time, then we may start working on turning on some of the other stuff, right? And adding some more things into it. It's kind of where I'm at on this. I think at current it makes the most sense. It did remove a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of grass, but it's nothing significant by any means. So I'm not really going to worry about it. It's not anything I'm going to be concerned about, I should say. Alright, so water's going in now. I don't know how much water it'll accept. It looks like it's a decent amount. But again, the tanker that we have is so significant that it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm going to bring this back over here to the sheep. We're going to leave this in front of the sheep because we probably won't have to fill it up in that potato. We probably want to fill up the potato thing very much, considering how much it holds. Let's do that. Let's hook this back up. And we're going to head back over and prep in the area where the potatoes are. Now, the workers should be getting close, if they're not already done. They should be getting close to completing the cotton harvest, or the cotton drilling, excuse me. The drilling of the cotton field. They should be getting close. Now, we do have to put down a first application of fertilizer there, and we also need to put down some herbicides. So we still have things to do today. But we've got a lot more done in a faster period of time than I was actually expecting. So we're doing all right. Things are going well. So we just went ahead and stopped the worker there because it's at 98%. It's not perfect, right? It's not completely full, but we might as well go ahead and unload it now. It's at 99% actually, now that it's actually processed through all the stuff that was still trying to be shipped through the harvester there, so... Now, the other worker, I believe, yeah, nearly done. There's that section over there we have to touch up, which is fine, but nearly done, so that's good. Things are going good. So, yeah, we've got that rolling. So, I don't know how long this will take, like I said, to do these premium potatoes. We're going to give it an episode or two and see how it does. If it doesn't go as fast as I'm hoping, we will try to actually add some more things into play here. So there are some things we can utilize the eggs for, which we kind of talked about that, right? We thought, well, what can we do the eggs with? Well, prime example is potato pancakes. So if we can just figure out a way to get some vegetable fat going, which we can utilize soybeans for that, canola oil or sunflower oil to do that. If we can just kind of distribute those to here and start making that, I mean, that seems like a win-win to me. Now, I don't know what vegetable fat is worth. It may be worth it right now for us just to flip it over and turn it into vegetable fat. Let's see if we can figure out how much that might be worth. That's a lot of money. So 2483. Now, does it, in comparison to just the canola oil, what are we getting out of that? I mean, you're getting a lot more out of the canola oil, so not really worth our time, in my opinion. Unless we have too many potatoes, right? We just got so much potatoes, then maybe it's worth it at that point. I don't know. I have to do a little bit more thinking and research on that, I suppose, but I guess you get what I'm trying to get at, right? So I would say at this point we're nearing halfway through at least the field, the cutoff of that we did of the field. We have that whole section up there we haven't even begun to start or touch. But from what we actually cut off, I would say we're close to halfway at this point, which is good. We still have some room in the other, the brand new production we utilize for the potatoes, right? We still have some room in there, so that's definitely going to help us clear out some potatoes. I'm just going to go ahead and take over for this worker. We're going to get the rest of this done. It won't take us long to do this. It's going to be faster for us to do this than the worker because we're on such a short little section here. What do you think? What do you think about the upgrades we've made here over the last, I don't know, 5 episodes or so, right? We've done a lot of upgrades. Another BGA, more productions. We've done a lot to try to prepare ourselves to make a lot more money. I think even though we spent a ton of money in the last episode on this potato field, I really do think it was for the best. I think we're going to end up making a lot of money off that field. We're going to make up probably more than the $1 million it costs us for that field, or if we don't, we'll be very nearly making that amount, which is good because then whenever we decide to re-drill it and then we harvest it again, obviously at that point we're definitely going to get our money's worth out of it, right? So, because that is a gigantic field. Like I said, we may have to, chop it up, right? We may have to. This section over here, for whatever reason, I can't get it to be drilled. I don't know what the problem is. I guess I need to come back with a plow or something and try to take care of it, but it is not accepting the direct drill for whatever reason. So there's a couple sections I think like that, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? There's another one right there, and up there's a bunch of them actually, more than I would like, but I don't think there's a whole lot I can do about it at this point. Alright, so we just get this little section here, and then this field is done as far as being drilled. Then we just got to get the fertilizer going on it, and then get the herbicide going. One more little quick pass back here to touch that up, and we're done here. We'll go get the fertilizer spreader and then get the sprayer. Alright, the field in the back has been fertilized. I'm actually going to leave the spraying until the next episode, I think. This one's getting relatively long at this point, so we're going to leave that until the next episode, and we're going to leave the episode here. We've got a ton more potatoes still to harvest. It's going to continue for a number of episodes, at least probably 2 to 3 more, at a minimum, I would expect. But yeah, we're going to leave it there, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. We got a lot accomplished. We got a new production for the potatoes, which is going to help tremendously. And hopefully, by the time July comes around in the next episode, and there's been a number of hours that have gone by, we'll have some more room in our BGAs, and we'll make a good amount of money out of the BGAs as well. Hopefully, that's the ideal situation for us, right? But, again, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, I'll catch you all in the next episode.